This question is from a past paper which says which row gives correct comparison between the solubility of calcium hydroxide and barium hydroxide and thermal stability. We know that as you go down the group, the solubility increases. So this means barium hydroxide is more soluble than calcium hydroxide. And regarding the stability, as you go down also the stability increases. So this means that the barium is more stable than the calcium carbonate. So the answer is D. In this question, we are asking which row correctly describes one property of barium and one property of barium oxide. So the reaction of barium with water, we know that the reaction of barium with water is a vigorous reaction, so rapid effervescence is seen, not few gas bubbles. Few gas bubbles is not seen because it is a vigorous reaction. And pH of solution obtained when a spatula measures of barium oxide is added to water. When barium oxide reacts with water, it will form barium hydroxide. Barium hydroxide is a basic solution, so the pH will be 13, so the answer is D. An anhydrous white solid Z is heated strongly for 30 minutes. A mixture of gases is given off. So as a start, we know that this is not a carbonate, because in the carbonate there is only one gas produced, carbon dioxide. But since it's a mixture of gases, so this is most probably the nitrate. It will produce oxygen and nitrogen dioxide. Now the solid remaining in the test tube is then dissolved in a small volume of dilute hydrochloric acid. So if I put the oxide which has remained after the evolution of the nitrogen dioxide and the oxygen, the barium oxide will react with HCl to form salt and water, form barium chloride and water. The addition of few drops of dilute sulfuric acid to the test tube causes a white precipitate to form. So when you reacted this salt, that's barium chloride that you formed with the sulfuric acid, it will form barium sulfate. This is a white precipitate. This one is a little bit more complicated. Use a mixture of group 2 oxide and group 2 sulfate. It might be barium oxide with magnesium oxide, or barium sulfate or magnesium sulfate. Contains equal amounts of the two compounds. It's shaken with water. Resulting mixture is filtered. A solid residue is obtained. The only thing out of these four which will make a white precipitate is barium sulfate. So if you put the barium sulfate in water, it will form barium sulfate solid, which is white precipitate. But barium oxide, water, barium hydroxide doesn't make anything. So the barium sulfate is there for sure. Magnesium sulfate does not make insoluble salt, and magnesium oxide also does not form insoluble salt. It forms magnesium hydroxide, which is soluble. Okay, QH chicken with water resulting mixture is filtered, solid residue is obtained. There is no reaction with the solid residue with chicken with HCl. Then the residue might be barium sulfate or magnesium sulfate. To make sure barium sulfate and reaction with HCl, magnesium sulfate, any of them, we are sure it's barium sulfate, but still any of them will not make a precipitate with the HCl. Checking the filtrate with H2SO4, so barium oxide or magnesium oxide, when it reacts back with the sulfuric acid, it will form the barium sulfate, which is white precipitate. This one is easy one. Which substance will not be produced of the thermal decomposition of hydrated magnesium nitrate? Since it's hydrated, so steam will be produced. And since it is magnesium nitrate, so the magnesium will be produced. So magnesium will be produced in the equation as nitrogen dioxide and magnesium oxide and oxygen. A farmer requires a solid compound to raise the pH of the soil in the field from 5.5 to 6 to make it alkaline. Which compound will the farmer use? Calcium hydroxide is easily soluble in water, and it will make the soil basic.